more flight. Whiskey round table. Oh, Greg, Karen, and the Whiskey Wizard talking facts and tastings. They've got you covered. Whiskey round table. Oh.
Welcome to the Whiskey Roundtable. We are your hosts,
Big G.
Karen Helen Keller.
Doug Dunbar.
And Dan Ruth here again.
All right.
Got Dan back.
Danny,
All
what's
right.
up, man?
I was excited.
Yeah, our audience loves it.
So we had another long Whiskey Wizard segment, huh?
Yeah, well, continuing with our theme of the cigar and whiskey pairing, part two of that pairing sequence. For those that watched last week, and maybe if you didn't watch, it's good to recap it.
We had a lot of good
We went to Roy Havana,
good press. Yeah.
and I provided 3 different whiskeys to both Dan and Big G to sample, and then pair it with their best idea of their pairing cigar to go with it. And so we did that, and this week they're at home sampling now their whiskey and the cigar that they picked and giving us their impressions on how well they think they did. And then, of course, next week, producer Zach will be evaluating all their picks and giving us his impressions to round out Cigar and Whiskey Month.
So
Awesome.
Zach is going to rate their picks?
Yes.
Oh, very cool.
He's going to take each whiskey and each of their cigars. Of course, he didn't do all this in one night.
I'll say that he doesn't really smoke cigars. That would be interesting.
But
Okay.
he did it over a couple weeks, so we gave him plenty of time to do those evaluations. I think you guys will find it interesting how that turns out. So there's some interesting things about it that we'll talk about at the appropriate time. So
I had noticed my check hasn't cleared yet, so I think he's still thinking about it.
right,
Well,
yeah.
I pay him in cash, so maybe he'll be a little bit more lenient on me. But that's okay.
There you go.
Just
There you
saying.
go. And
Just
so
saying.
yeah. So that's that, and
What's been
it's-
going on there? What's new?
it's a dog-eat-dog world, and I'm wearing milk-bone underwear.
You're wearing girls' underwear. What did you say?
Milk-bone underwear.
Oh, milk boner.
See,
Must be on
dog eat
small
dog
treats.
and,
I
yeah.
get you.
Oh,
What?
dear.
So
It's been
let's
that
talk.
kind of week.
Oh, it's been a
Let's
terrible
talk.
week.
Let's talk about birthdays, man.
Oh, it's kind of it's our third week, right, of Cigar and Whiskey Month, and it's also happens to be kind of like our birthday weekend. We have a couple of birthdays, Karen and I, this weekend, and so we got a little cake to have after the show to kind of celebrate it. We also celebrate G's because his falls during our winter hiatus.
So there's that
yeah.
cake.
Yeah, so
They did an incredible job.
That cake is beautiful.
The Whiskey Roundtable logo
I'm gonna
right
hide it.
there
I don't
on a
think you
cake.
guys should
Yeah,
cut it.
I don't know how they. I don't know how they do that, and it's pretty amazing.
Can we save that to January?
And it took me a lot of convincing to get them to put bourbon in the icing. So we'll
Oh, boy.
find out how that goes. So it's our 16th show of 2021, in case anybody's counting.
We know you are. You keep us in line.
What
Does
is
that
up
seem?
with-
Does that number seem high or low? You think when just like where we are in the year, or 6?
I'm just looking forward to November,
Wild Turkey Month?
Wild Turkey Month, and then 4 weeks off. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Oh,
Look at you.
This whiskey thing is killing me. Go ahead.
It only kills you on Saturday mornings, though.
Not so much anymore. I've been a lot smarter. I don't hang out with John Dunbar, Doug's cousin, anymore, Kachina Rustica, and I don't hang out with my nephew down at his restaurant either.
And Sidecar is
Sidecar is
not
living in
here,
New York.
So.
So my
So
liver's
it's-
healed well.
yeah. Don't have quite so many devils on your shoulder, as it were. So, Dan, how's it going with you? So, what's happened with you since last week when we last
Feels like it's
spoke?
been so long.
Does it?
You know, gosh. I mean, I hadn't seen you guys since Christmas, and
Yeah,
now it's
true.
twice.
Now it's twice in a
Right.
row,
in a
but
row.
Once in a row.
but it is appropriate because it's, you know, you really are doing these 2 episodes of The Wizard that are last week and this week, of course. And we'll have Zach, our producer, on next week to talk about his pairing or his evaluations. So
We don't care what Zach has
not
to say.
that well, but
I don't care.
He's entitled to his
If
wrong
he's watching,
opinions.
Zach, I
far-
don't care what you have to say.
as far as he knows, we
You,
don't care.
you mean nothing to me.
Wow.
Hey, as the Steagles always. You're dead to me.
So,
What are you smoking, G?
what are you smoking? It's
I'm
cigar
smoking
month, for God's sake.
I am. So anyway, this is the so Royal Havana Cigar is one of our sponsors. This cigar was made for me for the radio show. So this is a 660 Nicaraguan Habano cigar, Habano binder. And it's very good. This is what I always like to smoke. So
Is
I
that-
haven't smoked one of these in a while, believe it or not.
That looks like it's a very heavy cigar.
It is a very
So
heavy cigar.
Habana, that would be one of the. We talked about that tobacco, right? There's the Habana and the Habana 2000.
Mhm.
So cool.
Very nice. So
Good
All
deal.
right.
Yep.
Good
Well,
deal.
that's pretty good. Dan, how about you? What do you got going?
So
tonight?
tonight I brought an Oliva V series.
Now, is that one that you picked?
It was.
It was. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought so.
So, I wanted to bring it for good luck. Bring it to, to say obvious. This was the obvious choice.
It's only kind of a competition, but
yeah.
That's
But-
I actually picked an Oliva V as well for one of the drinks. I don't remember which drink it was off the top of my head, so I'm just going to say it was. What was our last drink? We had Scotch, and then we had
We had the
Rossville
Rossville
Red,
and
and
then, and then Uncle Nearest.
Uncle Nearest.
Yeah.
I think I picked that with the Uncle Nearest. If I remember.
Was it the Rossville that you got the
Rossville-
box
the
cut?
Padron.
The Padron, yeah.
80th anniversary.
I want to next time I'm over there.
That cigar is.
If I,
that's
you know,
almost a
well, that's the
$40
least
cigar.
one. If I did smoke cigars, that's one I would
Yeah.
get.
Well, you should start smoking cigars and quit playing.
So-
Yeah, you should. What's wrong with you?
I'll get around to
Listen,
it.
those candy,
You know.
those candy gumball, those cigars. Remember
I'm
when
just a
you're
little.
that pink one that you like to smoke all the
Yeah.
time and then chew on it,
Yeah, yeah.
blow bubbles.
I'm just a little too health conscious, as far as you know.
Well, then I guess you won't be having
Yeah.
cake later.
Yeah.
No cake for you.
Darn it!
Damn, screwed on your
More for
birthday.
us. Whoop,
Yeah.
whoop.
Darn it! Darn it! Darn it!
See, that health conscious crap
Yeah.
gets you nowhere.
All right.
All right.
Is it? Shall we
Yeah, let's
dive in? Do we have
let's get into
anybody
this. Let's do
to
it.
We got a few people
commemorate
out
her?
there
Jen
watching.
Boggs,
Who we got?
Lindsay's there.
We got Jen and Lindsay and
Matt
Matt.
Sosa.
Matt
Chris
Sosa.
Snyder. There
Chris
he
Christopher
is.
B.
Holy cow, Chris! We thought you were in jail.
Oh my God, Christopher Britton Snyder. To what do we owe this incredible pleasure?
He's
And
out
we'll,
on parole. He must be out on
He
parole.
must be
out
out. And
on
we'll-
parole.
I think we're going to get to see Christopher tomorrow night as well at my house. So.
And Christopher has an Aberfeldy 12-year-old Highland malt whiskey.
Show off.
Single
All right.
Highland malt whiskey.
I think I have one.
Nice one. Nice pick, Chris.
And he's calling you out saying he thinks it's the 17th show, so.
Oh shit!
Uh-oh.
Okay. I'll have to look at that, but it's possible that it's possible we got mixed up. But,
What do you expect? This is the Whiskey Roundtable.
all right, Siri, calm
Oh,
down.
you know he's just pulling your chain,
Oh, I know
right?
he is.
That's right.
Yeah, that's his MO. Okay.
So let's just jump right into it because we got a
let's-
big
Yeah,
show
we
today.
got a lot to do. Lot to do.
So
Come on,
let's
dozing
a lot
off
of
over
special stuff
wake
going
up,
on.
wake up. Did you drink your B12 over there?
I did.
You
which,
did.
Which one?
Oh, okay. Well, it should be kicking in yet. If not, I'll just smack you around a little bit.
That's right. You
So,
said-
anyways, tonight we are doing Jack Daniel's Single Barrel Select, and here is Bottle Cam number.
Hey everyone, it's time for the bottle cam. The bottle cam.
That's good.
There it is.
Holy cow. Where's that good-looking bobblehead?
What?
Jake.
Right.
Nice.
Yeah, you can't get too much of that, can you?
Yeah, shit.
All right. So, Karen, take us into.
You want me to
We're
just
doing
jump?
Jack Daniels tonight. I don't. Have we done it since I've been on the show? Any Jack
Not
Daniels?
this-
I think we did do Jack Daniels. Did we?
But I don't think we've done these.
No, we have not done this one. No, we have not done this. We may have done that 27, number 27, a while ago.
Yeah, maybe.
The honey kind.
Not sure, but yeah. I mean, I'll just say going in, I was never a big fan, and G had some selections that over the past couple of years he introduced me to, and it changed my opinion. So anyway, I'm looking forward to this. So.
Yeah, I think
Awesome.
Jack Daniels has really upped their game.
Yeah.
They've got some good picks out there. So yeah, let me jump into it. So it's just a little history. Jack Daniels was actually founded by Jack Daniels, whose real name is Jasper Newton Daniel. And he is the one that introduced Old Number 7 to the world back in 1866. So I found this funny. Back in 1864, he was taken in by Reverend Dan Call, which is where he learned how to make whiskey, which I think is funny because you always,
The Reverend.
the Reverend knew how to make it. And I know you were talking about Nearest is one of your picks that you drank with your cigar tastings.
Uncle
and
Nearest.
Nearest is actually when Jack Daniels was at the Reverend's farm, he also met Nathan Nearest Green, who was a slave there on at the farm,
Right.
and he actually later became the head distiller, which is now today known as the master distiller for Jack Daniels. So it kind of is cool how we picked this, and this kind of has a connection to your cigar tasting.
So that's who Uncle Nearest comes
Uncle
from?
Nearest. So I've been talking about that for years, and nobody really pays attention to that. But Uncle Nearest is what the whiskey is. But he basically he was a slave, and teamed up with
Jack Daniels.
Jack Daniels, and basically got them rolling on the distilling side. So
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
And became their master distiller.
master distiller, correct?
Yeah, that's.
Right.
So that's a. I didn't pay attention to the
So I've
bottle, but
never had it. I never had it until I had it with on our segment, if you will, of our pairing. But it actually is good. So, I sometimes if we turn around and want something or we haven't had it before and it's expensive, we like to go to Lizardville and try it there, so to say, before we invest the bottle. So, definitely something I want on the bar, so to say. Just because it's enjoyable.
You did like it. I remember
did
when
like
you
it.
were
I
doing your
did.
tasting here.
yeah, I did
really-
too. I was very impressed with it. So, yeah, Chris just clarified that he is actually in jail, but they have good internet there. So he's-
Perfect.
What's your roommate's name? That's what I want to know.
I don't know, but I feel sorry for him already.
Hopefully he's using a VPN. That's all I gotta say.
Sit down my lab. Let's watch TV.
okay,
You sure are cute.
Too
Purdy.
funny.
You're purdy.
You got a purdy
You
mouth.
got a purdy mouth. You
See
just-
how we just
Yeah,
off.
go ahead,
We're
I'm
off
sorry.
All
track
right.
so
well, what do you
quickly.
expect?
So what I found was interesting is Jack Daniels one day in 1906 he showed up early for work and he was trying to get into the safe and he couldn't get into the safe, so out of frustration he kicked the safe. What happened was he ended up breaking his toe. What's really cool is I actually found a picture of the safe that he kicked
Nice.
right there that broke his toe. And eventually that led to that injury actually got worse, ended up taking his life, and he died 5 years later in October of 1911 from blood poisoning as a result of kicking that safe. Now there's some question about whether or not that's a true story, but I took that right off the Jack Daniels website, so if it wasn't
I
true, I,
thought you were
wouldn't.
going to say he broke 3 toes, and that's how number 7 became a bottle.
Look
But
at you, you're quick.
Okay, sorry, just wrote that.
That
You're
was
all night,
fast.
kids.
That's good.
Gee, Matt just want to tell you real quick that it's Happy Pride Month. He just wanted to pass that on.
Who? Matt said that?
Yeah, yeah.
Matt, I have no pride.
Did you read his shirt?
That's right.
That's right.
I'm sorry, Karen.
Go ahead.
I just-
No,
Sorry,
you're
we're being
good.
rude.
You're good. Moving on real quick. So Jack Daniels he was not married, had no children. So when his health started failing, he turned the distillery over to his nephew, Lem. So it stayed in the family through that. Now, trying to get away from the history a little bit. When I think of Jack Daniels, I think of rock and roll, pop culture, and not only that, but even going back further, you can't help but think of this guy,
Oh yeah,
Frank Sinatra.
Yeah, that was his drink.
was his
Number
drink.
7 every day.
Somebody else just asked me that
A
question.
bottle a day of number
I think it was
7
Cousin
was
Ernie.
pretty much his routine.
Yeah, so actually, he got introduced to Jack Daniels. He was in a club in New York City in 1947, and he was with Jackie Gleason, and he wanted something to drink, and Jackie said, start with Jack. And then they've had a partnership, obviously, for quite some years. They've got the Sinatra Select Jack Daniels, which is very tasty. There is another one. I'm sorry, I didn't write it down. There is another Sinatra blend that Jack Daniels has. So there's been a large history with Jack Daniels and Frank Sinatra. So what I found interesting as well is that when he was laid to rest, they put a bottle of Jack Daniels in his jacket pocket.
Nice.
So you can take it with you, okay? But as I was saying, Jack Daniels is synonymous, at least to me, with rock and roll. I remember being young and just seeing this guy, Michael Anthony from Van Halen, and his Jack Daniels guitar, which is so stinking cool. And he wasn't the only one. You've got David Lee Roth and Eddie Van Halen with a bottle of Jack Daniels on stage. You often saw them drinking Jack Daniels. Another one who really enjoys Jack Daniels is this guy. And, you know, he's going to live forever with the cockroaches, Keith Richards.
Oh, yeah.
So, hey, it's got to be good for you, right?
There's, yeah.
Wow.
Back when product placement was good.
Right. Right.
There you go. Yeah, no, just not even a glass, just right out of the bottle.
Nice.
That's very rock
Nice.
and roll.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. But getting back to what we're doing tonight, so Jack Daniels, the single barrel series, they have 4 different varieties. They've got the single barrel select, which we're going to try tonight. It's 94 proof. And they also have a single barrel select barrel proof, which
Correct.
is it's bottled anywhere from 125 to 140 proof,
Which we're not doing tonight.
which we are not doing tonight.
How-
But
how many does G have?
I actually don't have the barrel proof one,
Oh,
but I haven't really searched it either, to be honest with you. I mean, I can usually have what I want in a week, but anyway, I know that's arrogant, but that's how I roll.
well, they say it's surprisingly smooth for being so high in proof. So I would like to.
Well, if it drinks anything like a George T. Stagg antique collection, when we were in Outer Banks, we drank a whole bottle of that, and it did not drink like 100. I think it was actually 141 proof. I can't remember.
well,
But
no,
I'll tell
this
you what,
is-
it drank more like 100 proof. It was
Really?
so friggin' good.
How would it compare to, like, I'm sure you've had Booker's. How would it compare to?
Well, apples and oranges, because
Really?
Booker's is, that is that's a Jim Beam product. Is that right?
I believe so.
was it?
Yeah.
So, now, I think it drinks smoother than a Booker's. Now, depending on what type of Booker's you have, because there's all different types. What I always found to be very, very spicy was the Little Book. But if you open it with that small cap of water, Jennifer Boggs will probably tell better than I can. But it definitely tames it down. So Booker's has a bunch of different series, so everything's a little bit different.
Yeah,
The proofs
Booker's-
might be the same
wanna-
sometimes, but at the end of the day, it's a long path compared to one bottle versus 10 different bottles.
Sure.
Okay.
Interesting.
So I don't know if that answers your question.
Yeah.
but-
yeah.
all right.
A couple others. They do have the single barrel rye, which is also a 94 proof, and they have a single barrel select 100 proof bottled in bond.
Nice.
Yeah.
So that's what I have on Jack Daniels, but I do
The
want to
mash
leave.
bill? Do you have the mash bill for this?
I do not. Do you?
80% corn, 12% malted barley, and 8% rye.
Damn, Loch Ness Monster.
There we go.
That's what I'm talking about.
I don't remember drinking any corn. Okay. So I did want to leave you, since this is the Frank Sinatra, Jack Daniels, connection here. I want to
Yeah.
leave you with a little quote here
Oh,
from Frank Sinatra. It says, basically, I'm for anything that gets you through the night, be it prayer, tranquilizers, or a bottle of Jack Daniels.
nice. Like it.
There we are. All right, guys, are we ready to dive into this?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Whiskey time.
Dan, grab your two if you don't mind,
Okay.
sir.
Grab your tooth.
Grab your two. Grab both. Grab a pair, would you? All right.
Alrighty. Guys are so quiet.
It is kind of quiet. Even the audience is a little quiet.
Do you
That's
guys, do they need
Did
to
you
pour
guys-
for themselves?
Okay.
You got it? Okay.
good. Yeah, here, I'll actually give you the bottle.
Everybody who wants one. We include the audience. That's one of the benefits of being in the live studio audience.
Well, while they're doing that, let's check
Hey
the
everyone,
second
it's
bottle.
time for the bottle cam.
Yeah,
The bottle
we
cam.
can get enough of it.
Very nice. Oh, I just love how you just come in like from way across the room, and
Yeah, it's,
he has way
you
too
never
much fun.
know where that bottle cam's been or where it's going.
I saw it on East 155th last week.
I know. It's,
Oh
there's
my!
going to be some. Like I
Just wrote that.
said.
I'm here all night, kids. Grab a dram. It's about to get real.
Okay. So, who wants to go first on the nose?
I'll just blurt
ahead,
out
blur
that
out.
I'm
Let's
getting
go.
apple right off the nose.
Okay, hang on a second. Sorry, kids.
It's banana bread. I get like bananas.
Do you?
That's that to me is when we did a tasting, it wasn't
I'm with
this.
you. Definitely
It,
banana.
it was on our Christmas tasting event we did. Of course, it was their store pick version, but
Man, is that
that's
nice.
how I could pick it out.
I definitely reminds me of Rusted Rye.
Yeah.
So I get the banana, but I also get like when you like caramelized sugar.
Caramel. Yeah,
Yeah.
brown
Caramelized
sugar.
sugar,
caramel,
Yeah.
And then I get some. I do get some. Somebody said apple. I think. Yeah, I get definitely a little bit of baked apple or something like that. So it's not just like it's not that fresh green apple. It's more of a
Right.
kind of a baked apple.
I like it. It's
I
kinda-
really
I get a real light hint of like oak, a little bit of dry oak.
yeah. Well, they use that. They call it the Lincoln County process or whatever, where they use the charred maple, and then that's what they use to filter that maple wood charcoal is what they use to filter it, and that's consistent with all of their whiskeys. So I don't know if that has anything to do with that fruity character that it has, but it definitely has a fruit forward nose
definitely.
to me.
Definitely.
It's weird that you said you get the banana because I don't.
I get it. I got it right up. I wasn't. He said banana. I'm like, there's no way. There's no banana in here. And then I just, as soon as I hit it, it reminded me of Rusted Rye. Not as pungent as, and I mean that in a good way, as
Yeah.
Rusted Rye, but I love Rusted Rye.
And if you remember our Whiskey Wizard episode on where banana comes from, the one
Trees?
on chemistry. No, I'm not. The
You
the
can pick 'em anywhere.
Banana odor in whiskey. Comes
I got
from,
mine at Walmart.
I
the
was
other
gonna say
day.
Costco, but I mean, okay.
Comes from esters created during the mash process.
Poor Doug. He's trying to be all serious, and we're just
Just trying
pounding
to get
him.
my point out. That's it.
The educator and the
Before I
students.
forget. Yeah.
The peanut gallery.
Yeah.
So Dan, let me ask you, what are you getting on the nose there?
Sometimes I did
Hey,
maybe power
Hey, peanut
suggestion
gallery.
a little bit, but I mean, so I got the banana late, but my first impact was really, like I said, that smell you get when you're caramelizing sugar for, or even brown butter, when you're kind of cooking that,
Sure.
getting ready for baking. That's what I
Yeah,
got off
baking
the nose.
spices, sure.
Yeah, I will admit, you guys have far more restraint than I do because I had to take a sip too.
Did you?
I did.
All right. Well, let me. Any other
No,
notes
I'm
you
good.
want to give?
I like my nose notes.
No.
So I will say that whoever said oak, toasty oak,
I didn't say toasty oak, but I did say oak.
oak. So the notes that I have say good body, plenty of toasty oak, notes of corn, and cereal sweetness.
Cheerios, what?
I don't know.
Frosted Flakes?
Frosted Flakes. There you go. And a good smoke note, a little spice, and toffee. I don't get
Okay.
the toffee, the spice, but I'm wondering if the spice and the sweetness might be that apple, like you said, like baked apples.
Yeah.
Apple
I
Jacks?
definitely get that.
All right. Going in since
Yeah.
so we
Time
could
for the
catch up
Can
with
we do
Dan.
Can we do it?
Let's catch up with Dan.
It's
Yeah, I
def-
don't get as much banana on the palate as I have on some other ones we've tried.
I think it's definitely sweet. It's got a
Yeah.
nice sweet flavor.
There's a little bit. There's a little bit. Did you say flowery or?
Yeah, I
'cause
saw
I'm-
like there was the fruit. It's
Yeah.
fruit forward on the nose.
I got a little bit of that on
I
the
get a
tongue,
little
too.
bit of that, and then a lot more like kind of the caramel baking spice, maybe even a little bit of pepper, kind of on the finish.
Mm-hmm. It's that Jack Daniel's
Yeah.
spice
Yeah.
that I get.
Yeah, it's very tasty.
I will say I did not get banana on the nose, but I do get it on the palate.
Interesting. Okay.
Very light hint of it.
Yeah, almost like a banana bread on this one.
Not getting that at all.
We've had some the rested and others where it's really pronounced. But this is more like a banana bread, lingering. Some
Man, I got-
caramel and pepper, like I said.
Got something, I just can't pick out what it is. Man, something there, I just can't pick it out.
I think that spice really does come across too on the finish as it kind of goes
Yeah.
down.
So it's a 94 proof. So it's middling. It's not super heavy, but it drinks pretty smooth for. It's almost like a 84 proof.
It doesn't drink like a 94. Man, I cannot pick out. There's something there on my palate. I just cannot pull it out. I just can't think of what it is. Easy now, girl.
That's okay. I'm looking ahead. I'm actually cheating, and I'm reading the palette, and it's already making me laugh. Jennifer Boggs, wait for this one. Any other
Not skins.
any other palette notes you guys want to throw
No,
out
I
there?
think that
Falls across the nose.
No.
Okay.
little, that whatever that essence is, the maple charcoal. It's almost I get a little hint of maple sugar in these. But
Maybe it's maple, but I can't.
All right. So let me
I'm lost.
Okay.
tell you what I found. It says it's a full and it's mouth filling. There's notes of cereal sweetness and rye with a touch of cigar box. And here we go, kids. Nut oil and a little spice
I feel a little violated. Greg.
and anise seed care.
Oh, great!
And Anisiwa.
Anise seed.
Well, it's funny
character.
because
Oh, okay.
what I almost said, I swear to God, what I almost said was licorice,
There you go.
Yeah, there you
That's
go.
it.
That'd be that.
but I didn't say it.
You didn't say analese this
I
week.
didn't
though.
say analese this week. Sorry,
Now
John.
he did. Now he did.
Yeah.
I don't know what nut oil is, but
I almost
We'll
said
talk about that
licorice.
later.
I can't believe.
It's a family show.
So you,
I'll be
so I'll
done.
give that to you, G. I
I
think
swear to God.
All right,
I
Big
s-
G, you demand.
I swear to God, I almost said licorice, and I didn't say it. I'm like, man, I'm not sure if it's licorice, but man, it's kind of back and forth, and I just couldn't pull it out. But you said anise, so that tells
I
me.
definitely now power suggestion. I couldn't put my finger on it either, but I think there is that. Or
I
I
had a
couldn't put
picture.
my nose
One
on
finger
it.
or three.
I have big.
No, I couldn't put my finger on the nut oil. That's for sure.
I don't blame you. Save that for after the
boy.
show.
Okay,
Yikes.
very good.
I
So
see. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
yeah, I mean, it's very good, very good.
What's so let's are we gonna rate this thing or what?
So we have I think, hey, what the hell? Let's do another bottle, Sean.
Should we do
No.
another
Before we get
bottle
into the
cam? All right, well, let's go for it.
Hey everyone, it's time for the bottle cam. The bottle cam.
All right. Whew.
Okay.
I like it. I like it.
All right. So now we got to turn those thoughts into numbers.
Oh, no.
Um,
It's making me think.
let's see.
Who's going first?
Who wants to go first?
Do you want to go first?
Am I going first?
Gee.
All right. I'm going with a solid 3.5.
3.5. Okay. Again, it's still a great whiskey roundtable score.
All right. Thank you.
I can't believe you said that because that's the first thing I thought of. Last week, when we did the Pikesville, was that last week?
Mm-hmm.
Immediately 3.8 came into my head, and immediately when I had this one, 3.5. So that's where I'm staying, and I'm sticking to it, guys.
I maybe liked it just a tad more than that. I'm going with a 3.6.
Wow.
That was the.
See how
that was
you
the
are?
number
I
that
steal
was kind
yours?
of rolling.
Why do you
away.
got why you got to one up me all the time?
Well, I figured.
No, I do like this. It's one that if I see it, I'm probably going to pick it up.
I would. I mean, just me personally. Everybody's palate's different. I say that all the time. I just couldn't pick the. I couldn't pick the palate.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, it was what it was. I was thinking a quick minute for licorice, and then it ended up being anise. But I just couldn't pick anything else out of it. But that's why I went with the 3.5. But it is very good. I mean, I'm glad I have a couple bottles of that. I mean, it's nice.
I'm going to go with the 3.6 as
All right.
Doug did. And
There
I
we
mean,
go.
the only thing I wished was I had a bitier cigar. Because, I mean, it could use a slightly spicier cigar to it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. And then your taste is influenced by foods, cigars, things like that. So, yeah, you might get a whole different take with a cigar than without.
So we've got some new people here
All
with
right.
us
So
tonight,
we're gonna
and
put
we.
them on the scroll.
Yeah.
Can I
Sure.
just one thing before we finish? So if there's some new people watching as well, just so you know, our rating goes from 1, which is the worst, to 5, which is
Well, it actually
the best
goes
thing.
0,
Does it really? Okay.
technically.
We've never actually given anything that low, because we like to drink here.
Yes.
Um,
We like a lot of
t-
stuff.
so it goes up to 5.
We
with
did a 0 on one of the Whiskey Wizard shows, didn't we?
wah, wah, wah. He got the big blue Tarski. 0.
It would have to be
Point
pretty much swill.
0.
Go ahead.
That's
Oh,
what
happy
if you get
birthday,
a
by the
0,
way.
that's the sound of a 0. Okay.
Happy birthday, by the way.
Okay. Okay.
Go
So
ahead.
yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead. What were you saying? Audience.
Oh no, I was just saying. I just was trying to let them know our rating
Yes,
scale
yeah,
and,
yeah.
and where we fall. So
'Cause
3.5, 3.6, very respectable scores.
Let's rate them.
Yes.
All right.
4 kind of is in the zone.
Chris,
of
what do you
gotta
got?
have it at all times.
I got a 3.4.
Okay. Any reason why you picked that score?
It's very good. Don't get me wrong.
I hear
I would just say it's a little bit too spicy for me.
Gotcha.
Just
Okay.
my
Okay.
palate. Everyone
Chris
has their own
Chris said
palate.
he 3.4. He thought it was a little too spicy for him.
Miss
Or
Shauna.
on the spicy side.
I'd say a 3.5,
Okay.
Shauna's going with a 3.5.
All right. What about Miss Marion?
3.6.
Whoa, shit, girlfriend. All right.
Look at us,
Elliot, what about your scotch? Give me a rating on your scotch.
Off the charts.
Off to 5?
5.
Put it on there.
All right, Elliot's Scotch. What kind of
Elliot's,
scotch are you drinking,
Glenn
by the
Glenn
way?
Levitt.
Glenn Lovett,
Is that the which one we got?
Founders Reserve.
Founders.
Oh, okay.
Did you bring
What
that?
was this? What was
No,
the
I-
score
I
again?
know.
I give it off the charts.
Off the
Oh,
charts.
okay.
I
I'm
liked
going to
it.
do something I've never done
Go
before.
ahead. Let's see it.
There you go. That's rock and roll.
Awesome. That's what I'm talking
Elliot
about.
just,
Right.
That's a
We
first.
should. You know what? We should have.
Elliot just took a big swig right out of the bottle.
wait. Let's don't drink it all, Elliot. Put it on. Put a little bit in that glass. We're gonna get a video of you, and we're gonna post it.
Drinking it right out of the bottle.
Sorry,
for
kids.
Those of you that
Little
cannot
something.
see Elliot.
Out of the bottle.
Hang on.
Oh yeah, we
Just
want a
make sure.
good bottle of swig.
All right, go on. There you go. Awesome. All right, we're gonna
Wow,
put
some
that.
real surprise.
We're gonna put that. I have a video of that, so we're gonna put that out next week.
Oh,
All right,
that's
awesome.
That was a first.
Perfect.
Something I always
That's
wanted
something.
to do.
Okay, well, you've talked about that for a long time.
Never did it.
Never did it.
Message
so
received.
what a better place to do it than here. So
All right.
the world will see you now. That's funny.
I want you to
Okay.
black out my face.
No.
Yeah, we're gonna put some ears on you and stuff.
What's a little?
Big clown.
We
nose.
might
It'd be
add a
fun.
dress.
Add a
and,
dress.
some heels.
You know, I mean, with those legs. I mean, come
I
on.
already have a picture of myself like that.
I bet you do.
Hey, he needed the money. He was going to college. Leave him alone. So,
Hey, you remember Bubbles the Clown? Remember?
Bubbles the clown?
Oh no, I screwed that up.
Shh. You did screw it up, but anyway, never mind.
Shoot.
That's all right.
Never
all right.
mind. Another show. We'll come back to that.
All right, let's hit the. Listen, we're on short time. Let's hit the
Okay.
scroll. Let's hit the scroll real quick, and Doug, do your thing, and then we're gonna move. We're
Holy
gonna move.
smolies. We got lots on the scroll here. Blah, 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 blah. Yes, Jennifer is just agreeing with you that Booker's is Jim Beam. Booker's is also smooth for the high proof. Lindsay's laughing at the bottle cam. And Jennifer's going crazy over the nut skins and nut oil. Oh my goodness.
And I think Stevie
you-
G is watching as well. This
Stevie
show.
G is watching. Where did
Awesome.
I see
I mean, if you're
him?
gonna say nut oil, don't you have to be a little bit specific?
I mean,
So
you know,
let me get this straight. The craziness on the chat is about the nut oil tonight.
A little bit.
A little bit.
Little
Good,
bit.
good. I like this. I like where the show's going.
Well, that's pretty common.
Wait, I don't know what. I don't even know what this means, so I'm just gonna blurt it out. It's Chris Snyder, so take it
Oh.
with a grain of salt.
Okay.
But it said, "What about the wet terry cloth?"
Well, I don't know. You have to ask your husband while you're sitting in the cell. Let us know.
Aww.
And it's Father's Day. You have to kiss your husband. So come over here and give your husband a kiss.
No Tom. No Tom.
Oh my! Steve Gallowan says, "Falbio and Bob Rosa, say hi."
Hello, hello, hello.
Hey guys.
What's up, kids?
I don't know. Chris again is talking about smelling fingers.
Oh shit.
Is that with
Fabio,
the-
how are
is
them
that-
ribs?
Is that with the nut
I'm
oil?
sure Steve.
myth.
I'm sure Steve screwed him up. Go ahead.
Fabio said he just bought a bottle of Jack Daniel's Select, and he gives it a 3.7.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Shit,
Jimmy,
that
there you
girl, you're
go.
on your game, man. All right.
And Jimmy wants another ride in your car.
Hey, Jimmy,
Thanks, Jimmy.
is that with or without ice on the score?
Oh, you got called out, Fabio.
No, seriously, I want to know.
Jimmy always puts ice
Is
in
it
his
always?
drink.
Well, not always. He
Not
does.
always?
He does. No, I have to
No,
give him his
when
props.
he was here,
He's
he
trying
did a
to
lot of-
wean
yeah.
the ice and the stuff. He's
It's
doing
okay to
fine.
mix it up,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
we always say here on the Whiskey Roundtable, however you like it,
However you like
it,
your
but
drink.
I was just curious when he scored it, how he had it. So.
I'm sure Steve burned the ribs, or maybe put too much charcoal fluid on them or something. Anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. Your brother Steve Williams from Texas is out
What's
there.
up, Steve?
He wishes us both a happy birthday.
All right, thank you, Steve.
Thank you, Steve. Yes, thank you, thank you.
All right.
Okay, well,
Let's get on.
let's go on to the Wizard, and we'll see you guys in a little bit.
All right. See you in about
Continuing with
30 minutes.
Yeah, well,
All right.
give or take. Part two of our tasting and pairing series.
Amen. All right. We'll be right back.
You know, a good question would be
Whiskey
what the oil was. Walnut?
Well, that's what I said. Why wouldn't you need to be a little?
I mean, it
specific?
depends on where you want to
'Cause
roast your
there's
nuts.
how many nut oils and how many nuts and nut oils? Are there?
All right.
You know
It
what
took
I'm
me a
saying?
second.
I don't think I can.
No, I mean, it makes one think they where we say that whiskey making takes scientific knowledge, an artisan's skill and dedication, and a bit of the wizard's alchemy of light, air, earth, and fire. Tonight we're continuing our segment about pairing whiskey and fine cigars. Last time we had Dan Ruth and Big G go over to Royal Havana Cigars, our great sponsor over there in Willoughby, to sample some whiskey I brought with me, which they did not know about in advance, and which they had to choose from their humidor's vast selection the perfect cigar to go with it. I then gave each one of them samples of the whiskeys and asked them to take them home with the assignment to sample each whiskey and corresponding cigar they picked over a 3-week period. Tonight we'll see how they thought they did after sampling their own pairing selections. So here we go with part 2 of our segment on pairing some fine cigars with some awesome whiskeys.
Well, hey everybody, this is Dan here with the Whiskey Roundtable pairing that we were showing you guys just a little bit ago. And today I'm going to be starting with the first pairing that I selected when we were in the cigar lounge, and that is the Ashton VSG. This is the Illusion. And we're also going to be doing the Glenmorangie with the Sauternes finish. Very excited about this pairing. I think it's going to work really, really well. So before we get started with the smoke, I want to kind of go over a little bit of the different the profiles of both of these and why I kind of selected it. So the VSG, this is a pretty heavy cigar. This is a full-bodied cigar, and you know, so when I go in, I go give a quick smell at the foot there. You know, even before we light it up, you know, it comes across with a sweet aged tobacco with a very earthiness. So you know, you already know this is gonna have a lot of power on the tongue. And I'm gonna go ahead and clip it open here. Use my guillotine. There we go. Give this a nice wide surface to work with, and then even on a cold draw, you know, without lighting it yet, you can already tell that this is going to be puts a little bit of tingle on the lips. So this thing's got a little bit of power, and we're matching it up with the Glenmorangie with the Sauternes finish. And you know, on first whiff, you might think these two won't work together because of the power the cigar is going to have. Because you know, when you come in on the nose, you know, I get a little bit of citrus. There's a sweetness to this, probably because of that Sauternes cask. And, you know, so right off the bat, you're going to say, wow, this is going to be sweet and this is going to be so spicy. But I think we're going to be amazed when we start to smoke through this that to see what we really get. So I'm going to go ahead and give this a nice toast here. Get her lit up. Yeah, right off the first bite, it's got that strong woodsy flavor to it, some pepper, some spice, especially on that exhale. You can really get that flavor in there. And the smoke, really fills out the inside of your mouth. It's sort of a really creamy smoke that it's got going. So let's go ahead and give the Glenmorangie a little bit of a try here against it in the very beginning. Yeah, I mean, from the first light, which is going to be a little bit heavy on this, you know, to the flavor palette here, you know, again, that vanilla really coming across. I like the pairing that that is starting up here. I think it's going to be a really nice complementary scotch as we go through. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna get through a good portion of the cigar. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna check in at about the midway point, because a lot of times the cigar flavor profiles will just change as they're going through, and kind of compare how does that work with the Glenmorangie, and then all the way down to the finish. We're gonna check in at 3 points of this cigar. So we'll be back in a little bit. All right, so we're back. It's been about 35 minutes, and we're getting halfway to the midway section of the cigar. What's interesting about the Ashton is it doesn't really transition in flavor. It just really intensifies as it goes along. So as it's gotten here, it gives that feeling of almost like cedar wood chips. If you ever have them put in your garden or whatnot, when you put them, that smell that you get, well, that's almost the flavor that's replicated here. And I've been really impressed with how it's worked with the Glenmorangie, because the sweetness of that works with that cedar very, very well, and it kind of tends to tame it. So if you were someone who doesn't really like a bold cigar, I wouldn't necessarily run right out and buy the Ashton VSG, but if you had a chance to smoke one, if you did it with something like a Glenmorangie with that sweeter type of flavor, it's going to reduce that flavor on your palate. It's still going to hit you in the head, but I think the two of these do pair very well together. So we're about midway. I probably have close to another hour before we get down to the very finish of this. But the way it's been going, I think it's going to be a very similar flavor throughout. So we'll be back in about an hour, and we'll finish up with the finish of the cigar and the last of my Glenmorangie. See you in a bit. All right, well, we're back at the end here, and I tell you, I'm thoroughly impressed with the Ashton. Number one, it's been a complete even burn throughout the entire smoke, which is really phenomenal. I haven't had to spend a lot of time trying to relight it. It stayed relatively cool up until about this part where you're kind of at a roach clip side. And as I thought, throughout the entire smoke, the Glenmorangie really kept up with it. And you take a puff off of the cigar, and you fill your mouth with that that great spicy cedar flavor that I was picking up, and then you finish it up with a nice swallow of the Glenmorangie, and it just kind of cooled it right back down, and really made it kind of danced on your tongue. I mean, I think it was a good pairing. With this cigar, you could go a multitude of ways. I mean, you could have done this with a bourbon and just kept the spice going all the way through the cigar as well. But I mean, I really like the pairing of the two, that spicy and then that sweet finish. Really paired out well. So I'm happy with my selection of the VSG to go along with the Glenmorangie, and I would highly recommend it. I'm curious to see what the other guys who were doing this along with us come up with, what cigars they decided to smoke. So we'll see you back with the second smoke and drink in next time. All right, take care.
So on this Glenmorangie, I thought the perfect finish cigar for that nice pairing would be the Perdomo 10th anniversary champagne cigar. That's what I'm smoking now. So you have a Ecuadorian Connecticut wrapper and a Nicaraguan filler, if you will. And what's cool about the champagne cigar, not only does it pair well with just some Irish whiskeys and scotches, but also pairs well with bourbons and other whiskeys. Perdomo was one of the first companies that aged their Connecticut wrappers in bourbon barrels, and I want to say they're aged for about 6 years, and it's a perfect finish cigar for the you get those you get that honey and those undertones, and you get that even spiciness in this cigar, and it does pair well with just about anything that you drink, but usually on the lighter side. This is basically a medium to, I'd say a high lighter to a medium body cigar that will do well with just about anything. When you get into some of your heavier proofs and different things like that, then you want to step up and get something like a medium body to full body cigar. So this is what I'm enjoying today. I'm enjoying the cigar, having a little drink, and it's going to finish out the day doing that. So until then, cheers. All right. Thank you. Thank you for watching. We'll see you soon. Again, Big G, the Whiskey Roundtable, for Doug Dunbar, the Whiskey Wizard. Catch you at the show. Thank you for watching.
So today I'm going to be smoking an Ashton Original, and this was one of the first cigars that they had come out with. It's actually a pretty mild to medium cigar, so if you're one of those guys who goes in and says, hey, I'm looking for something in the mild to medium range, this is fundamentally what you're asking for. This is, it's pretty short smoke. This is only 45 minutes to maybe an hour as compared to the 2-hour VSG that I smoked the last time. And so we're going to be pairing this with the Rossville Rye. And I always like rye in cigars. Like, I don't think there's really a wrong rye cigar pairing at all. Pretty much the two flavor profiles, especially when you're talking the medium bodies, really works out no matter which ones you select. But when Doug had given me this in the cigar lounge, I immediately thought of just the Ashton. It would just be kind of a nice smoke. So to kind of get us started, we're going to do it in the same format we did the last time. And so we'll start with the cold cigar. Give it a little bit of a run over the wrapper. Now that I have some rye on my fingers, it smells even better. But you know, as I go and taking that foot. So this cigar really has a fragrance to it of almost hay and some honey. I mean, it's kind of got a barnyard fragrance to it, which is actually really pleasing when it comes to cigar, because that comes across in the taste. We're gonna go ahead and guillotine it off here. Space. Do the cold drop. So on the cold draw, it's interesting. You get a coffee flavor almost. It's got a cream, coffee with cream in it type of flavor that comes across really, really well in there. Very pleasing. Again, very, very mild to medium cigar. I'll give it a little toast here. Yeah. So when on first light, this cigar doesn't even hit you like that. The VSG was a pretty good punch when you did it. This one has a sweet almond and a little bit of a bitter flavor that almost like a dark coffee comes across in it, but it's mixed with that sweet almond type flavor. So we're gonna pair this up against, like I said, the Rossville Rye. Now, when I first took this in, let me not burn my table. When I first took this in the cigar lounge, I don't think I came across this profile, but I've been playing with this now a little bit since we left, and you know, when you nose it, it actually has a pretty fruity, almost like an orange peel nose to it, with a slight medicinal sort of finish, and which is a little bit different than a lot of ryes I've had before. But we're gonna go ahead and put some in here. Give it a little bit of a swirl, open it up. Yeah. Still getting that orange, and then think of like a vanilla with a little bit of a Grand Marnier, and then it kind of finishes off with a cinnamon red hot spice. It's really an interesting flavor in this rye. So I think that vanilla fruity flavor is going to play well throughout the smoke here with that, you know, that coffee creamy flavor and the sweetness of this cigar. So I'm going to do the same thing I did the last time. We got the start going here. I'm going to get it up to about the mid smoke, which on this one probably take me about 20 minutes. And then we'll check back in and talk a little bit about how the flavor profiles are maturing, and again how it continues to pair up against the bourbon, or the rye, sorry. So we'll see you in a little bit. And we're back. So that's pretty close, about 21 minutes into this, and because I like to be exact, everyone knows that. So we're about halfway through this cigar, and now this, as it's progressed, it gets a little bit spicy. It almost gets like a balsamic flavor to it, and mixed in with a little bit of hardwood that you can taste there. And my camera person is wincing because we have bees flying around now. Welcome to spring. So it's gained a little bit of spiciness to it as it's matured in the progression here of the smoke. And to its credit, the rye, the Rossville, because of that sort of that orange and that cinnamon red hot flavor, it keeps right in tone with it. You know, as I was saying before we started this, there's not much you can go wrong with a cigar and, you know, a rye or a bourbon. They tend to pair well, almost anyone that you select. But you know, I really like the way that, you know, that finish, that cinnamon finish that I'm finding in the Rossville plays against the while mild, that wood balsamic flavor that I'm starting to notice here at the midway point. I do feel that this cigar is probably going to get a little bit hot as it gets to the end. So I'm still going to do the finish and you know, and see where we get, and we'll record that. But I think it's going to get a little bit hot. I don't think the rye is going to have any problem keeping up with it as it goes along. But we'll check back here. I may have maybe another 10-15 minutes on this cigar, and we'll check back here for the finish and let you know what I find out. All right, so here we are at the end of the cigar here. You know, I was right. It's, you know, it definitely starts to get a little hot as it comes to the end. But I mean, you can definitely smoke it all the way to that point. What starts to come out now in my flavoring is, you know, I taste that hardwood has more become a cedar flavor. You know, there's some malt, a little bit of truffle in there. It's a really balanced cigar. Very nice smoke. You know, the ash stays well throughout the smoke. I probably tap the ash off more often than I should, which is what aids in making it a little bit of a hotter cigar. I can probably keep it a little bit longer. But you know, with regards to how it's worked with the straight rye, you know, the only other cigar that I might have gone with this rye is maybe like an Oliva V series, which again, that's going to be a little bit heftier cigar, and you know, it would have hit a little more head on with this rye than this does. But I mean, all in all, it was a pleasurable smoke and a really nice combination, I feel. So I'm pretty solid that this one should be on your taste list if you're making one up. So for today, that's going to be it. I've got one more pairing that I'm going to do, and we'll see you soon.
Dad. So this is part 2 of our segment, and today we are last week or a couple weeks back when we did some pairings, we had drank the Glenmorangie, and then we had drank Rossville rye, 100% rye. So, you know, we talked about pairing the cigars with what you're drinking. You know, what's a proper cigar, so that you enjoy both. So, this Rossville Rye is a pretty spicy drink, very good, sweet, different things which you'll see on the show when we go ahead to release the series. So because, you know, I said on the first series that, you know, a lot of cigars, depending on what you're drinking, you want to have the perfect cigar, whether it be a light cigar or medium body or full body cigar. So the cigar I'm smoking today is a 80th birthday Padron cigar. This is about a $39 cigar, and this is a great smoke. It goes very, very well with the Rossville, the rye, because of the spiciness. This also is pretty earthy. You get spice right out of the gate, but it's not terrible. And I believe it or not, I get mocha out of it. I get that like chocolatey smell, almost like an infused cigar. So it smells fantastic. So, and it was a Toro cigar, you know, or torpedo, if you will. And so this is what I'm smoking today to go well with my Rossville Rye that I'm sampling for the second time here. So, you know, I see a lot of people, when it comes to cigars, people sometimes will buy a cigar because they like the band, you know, they like how it is, or this or that, or they like the color. And I always tell people, you know, you always want to start off with a lighter cigar. Like the first series, we did a 10th anniversary Perdomo cigar, and that went well with the Glenmorangie and a host of other drinks as well. But you know, when you start getting into the spiciness of a whiskey, you want something that matches it, and you'll get the complementary of both products. So that's what we're trying to do, is maximize that. So I knew that this cigar never disappoints. It's a full body cigar, goes very, very good with the Rossville Rye, and so we'll see you on the third series to finish everything up. And again, Big G from the Whiskey Roundtable, Doug Dunbar, the Whiskey Wizard, for Doug Dunbar, the Whiskey Wizard. We'll catch you on the show, kids. Enjoy your evening. Thank you. Good stuff. Catch you later.
All right, so I'm back for the third and final installment of this this awesome pairing thing that I was invited to do, and it's been a lot of fun. Number one, I'm always a fan of smoking a cigar and drinking some good whiskey, but this has been fun because it's actually, to be honest, kind of made me think about how these things pair together and the flavors. I mean, I've always been the kind of person, I'm like, I like how that tastes, I like how that smells, I'll eat it, drink it, or smoke it. But you know, it's been a little bit of an eye-opener for me to really begin to enjoy, from a different perspective, this through the process. Anyway, so today I'm going to be doing the Arturo Fuente Hemingway Signature Gran Reserva. So this is a Perfecto, so it's got the cool little wind-resistant tip, as I call it. So we're not going to be able to get a foot smell off of this, but you know, you can still run across the nose. And you know, this one, this is a mild cigar. In my personal opinion, I think they pretty much classify this as a mild. So you know, it's going to be for the average person out there who just doesn't like the bite, or you know, it could be closer to a daily smoker if you want. And we're going to be pairing this with Uncle Nearest 1884 small batch bourbon that Doug had picked out. And you know, so the Uncle Nearest was interesting. You know, when I was kind of put to task in the cigar lounge, again, like I said, I don't spend a lot of time really on the flavors of things, but throughout this process, I've actually spent quite a bit of time actually trying to understand the flavor and what I was smelling. So I'm gonna maybe rehash what I said in the cigar lounge. As I've worked with this Uncle Nearest, and I actually kind of bought some more to give it a shot. And you know, so as I've worked through this process a little bit, you know, as I take it up, you know, now I'm starting to notice like there's a nose to me of brown butter, okay, maybe a marshmallow caramel, and I'm really big into baking, so those resonate with me. And then as you take it across your palate, got a slight burn when you first pull it in, and there's just this hint of, you know, you can get the smoked wood, you can get the cask in there, but at the very end of it, it's got this really crisp kind of sweetness that comes through, which is really, really nice. And I think it's going to pair well with the Hemingway. Hemingway is it's a sweet, mild spice cigar. So I think, you know, the two of these are going to complement fairly well. And we're gonna get going here. So then go ahead, my trusty guillotine, and give this one up there. Now, as I said, you can't get the foot smell on this because it is a Perfecto. And I like to light these because you can with a match. But first, the cold draw. Gives you it's a sweet tobacco, but, you know, going along with that sort of hay barnyard smell I was talking about, it also has a little bit of a musty earth tone in that cold draw. So you know, not bad at all. Very, very pleasant, and very, very mild. So I'm gonna at the end a little bit. So that first light, I may have to let it tune here a little, but so that first light, it comes across with that a little bit of sweet flavor, very mild spice. You know, you do get a little bit of a burn in the nose, and I think that's just the initial light. As this thing burns on, it's gonna kind of come through, and the mild flavors, I believe, are gonna start to kind of express themselves. So we're gonna do this in the same frame that I did the other two, and it's gonna be, you know, we did the light, and I'm gonna check back in here in a little bit when I'm about halfway through with the cigar, and give you a little bit of an update of how it's rolling. And but thus far, I'm fairly certain that these two are going to complement each other, much in the way my other selections did. So so we'll be back in a little bit to do the midway. All right, so we're back about to the center of the midway point of the cigar. A little bit surprising. I've had the Grand Reserve, but the Signature I haven't had, and as it gets through the midway, it takes on like a touch of bitterness to it, which I'm not saying is bad. It's just not one of my personal favorites. I mean, it's still a mild cigar, but it's got a little bit of bitterness, and you do get a little peppery spice on your tongue. So I might almost change my rating to it as as it goes through, it starts out pretty mild, but then it gets into a little bit more of a medium body cigar. But nonetheless, as far as working with the Uncle Nearest, it's you get that smoke, and then you bring that smoke in, and I don't know that I would have selected this cigar against this one. I'm not saying it's bad. As I said before in previous segments, a cigar and bourbon, they pretty much match, but whereas the other two selections I made, the VSG and the Ashton, I think paired very well with both the Glenmorangie and the Rye. This one, the Grand Reserve almost seems to battle it out a little bit with the Nearest on your tongue. At the midway point. In the beginning, it was good. I mean, they played very well. It mingled on your tongue, kind of like a little bit of a dance. And now it's they're starting to kind of fight a little bit. So I'll be interested to see what the finish comes out. Again, both I still like both of them, but I may by the end of this go completely and say I should have done a different cigar with this bourbon. But with that, give me about another maybe 15 minutes on this one, maybe 20 minutes, and I'll be back. I'll be back with the finish. All right, so we're back. I'm down to the final part of this cigar. And it's hard to tell yourself you're wrong. So when I tried this in the
Whiskey Wizard. It's the Whiskey Wizard.
Hello and welcome to the Whiskey Wizard, where we say that whiskey making takes scientific knowledge, an artisan's skill and dedication, and a bit of the wizard's alchemy of light, air, earth, and fire. Tonight we're continuing our segment about pairing whiskey and fine cigars. Last time we had Dan Ruth and Big G go over to Royal Havana Cigars, our great sponsor over there in Willoughby, to sample some whiskey I brought with me, which they did not know about in advance, and which they had to choose from their humidor's vast selection the perfect cigar to go with it. I then gave each one of them samples of the whiskeys and asked them to take them home with the assignment to sample each whiskey and corresponding cigar they picked over a 3-week period. Tonight we'll see how they thought they did after sampling their own pairing selections. So here we go with part 2 of our segment on pairing some fine cigars with some awesome whiskeys.
Well, hey everybody, this is Dan here with the Whiskey Roundtable pairing that we were showing you guys just a little bit ago. And today I'm going to be starting with the first pairing that I selected when we were in the
All
cigar
right, guys,
lounge.
I don't know what I did. The mouse just got a mind of its own, and everything started moving around, and I screwed up the cigar thing. So I totally apologize, but you see it's moving on its own over here.
Yeah.
So we'll figure out a solution to that. Maybe we'll start with the end of this one next week, and
There you
we'll
go.
figure it out.
I appreciate it though. What
Sorry.
you were doing, you were
Yeah.
giving me the edge because Greg was extremely professional in his opinions and everything. So you gave me a little edge.
Well, you guys had two very different approaches, and so you were really evaluating how you did. Greg really didn't do that to the same degree, but I thought both of your guys' approach was very interesting, and it was helpful, and I learned a lot from watching what you guys did. It made me want to start smoking, that's for sure, and because there's a lot. Look, that I know that cigars and whiskey are a great combination; they go well together, And just like food and whiskey or food and wine, there's some set rules, some things to go by, and that was clear.
I think the great thing with this is it really actually made me think about the cigar and the whiskey.
Correct.
You know, I mean, I've smoked and had different whiskeys over time, and I always enjoy all of them. But, you know, this really made me think about those flavors and how they paired and everything. So it was a really great learning experience, and I mean, I appreciate being invited to it because I'd never thought of anything like that before.
Yeah, I mean the next one we do, which I hope we're going to do another one. You know,
We'll do
But-
another, not exactly the same way, but
yeah.
we'll try something
We'll
next
get
year.
get
where
into
we-
more of the. The whiskey speaks for itself, but pairing with a cigar, there's a lot of different notes in a cigar. So, we didn't get into that again. We talked about this earlier about, we wanted to get a segment out. I wasn't sure of everything. I had how I wanted to do it, but I didn't do it because I didn't want to have mixed up with Dan or Zach or whatever. I just wanted to do something short, sweet, and get my point across. So, but next time we're going to note cigars, man. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna note and palate it. So
I like that. You've been talking to Julie. You don't want to get mixed up with me. I understand. I got it.
Yeah. So and
So what I'm going to do is I think I know how I can actually upload this whole segment right to our Facebook page.
Okay.
So if anybody wants to go out there and finish watching what Dan and Greg had to say on this Uncle Nearest.
please do that because I really like the way it concluded, and again, I thought it was very interesting the different approach between you two, and you really you had one pairing that you didn't quite care for.
Yeah.
Right. So you had the one where you said that you think you could have done a better pick in terms of the match, which was.
I made a mistake in my choice. Julie, this is for you that I am fallible. Just put that out there.
Write down the date
And
and
speaking
the
of-
time, and it's recorded.
And speaking of that, Julie, you do have to watch the whole segment because at the end there is some special thanks to you for your help on that. So the Whiskey Roundtable appreciates it. So. She was your camera person.
She was.
Correct.
100% produced my entire spot.
Made up.
Very nice.
Nice.
Did pair everything.
all right. Well,
Oh, jeez Louise.
So we'll make it available. We'll make the whole thing available on our YouTube page, or somehow or link it through our Facebook page.
I can put it up there on our Facebook page so you can finish watching
Okay.
it. I don't know
Perfect.
what happened. I'm going to spend the evening trying to figure this out. Zach, help.
It's almost like the
fault.
mouse stuck or something.
And it's just started floating all of the different things. Oh, never mind. You guys don't need to hear that. I just screwed up. Whatever.
But we'll make it
happens.
available, or we'll do another short segment of just the end of that during next week's show. We'll figure it out. So because we don't want you to miss any of this, and so
let's get to the
Yep.
scroll and let's
it's
let's
time to
call
wrap it
out.
up.
It's
Don't
time
forget
wrap
to
it up.
subscribe to our YouTube page. Speaking of that, if you haven't already, follow us. And if you have any questions or comments, you want to be a guest on the show, you can comment on our Facebook page or email us directly at thewhiskeyroundtable@gmail.com. I got a couple of closing quotes appropriate for tonight. This comes from actress Demi Moore. She said, "There's something about smoking a cigar that feels like a celebration. It's like sipping a fine whiskey. There's a quality, a workmanship, a passion that goes into the enjoyment of both." And this from George Burns. "If I had taken my doctor's advice and quit smoking when he advised me to, I wouldn't have lived to go to his funeral."
Oh my.
As you guys,
All right,
many of you know, he lived to be about 100.
He's my idol.
And he drank scotch and smoked cigars, many cigars every day.
Yes, he did.
All right. What do we got on the
Okay.
scroll, kids? And we'll count it out.
Sidecar is out there watching us.
Sidecar.
Sidecar. Miss
So-
you, buddy.
Get back to work, dude. You're working tonight. What's going on over there? Yeah, he was laughing, talking about Swisher Sweets or something like that. I don't know. Actually, everybody must have been really into the Whiskey Wizard because it got quiet. So,
Yeah,
good.
I hope it was. I enjoyed it. I know that much. Just putting it together and watching it. So
hey, this is live entertainment right here
you know,
coming at you.
Hey, sometimes that kind of stuff happens. You know.
What do you expect? This is the Whiskey Roundtable.
Amen.
Right. Okay. So
All right.
take us out, G.
All right. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you guys next week for the last segment, actually.
Yeah.
And,
Our wrap up.
Our wrap up for the month of June. So
Absolutely.
I appreciate everybody watching. Sorry about the mix-ups. It's not our normal.
We'll
thing.
get it taken care of.
We'll get it handled. So
Absolutely.
we are the Whiskey Roundtable. Big G with the Whiskey Wizard. We'll catch you guys next week. Karen.
Sorry.
And Karen.
Karen Ellenkeller.
And Doug Dunbar, the Whiskey Wizard.
And Dan Ruth.
All right, kids. We'll catch you guys next week. Be careful.
right.
Be safe. Safe weekend. Catch you guys next week. All right, man.
So long, folks.
Have a great one.
All right, everybody.
If whiskey stopped working, every bar in town would be closing their doors, shutting down. Everybody would be trapped with their thoughts, 'cause nothing numbs the pain like bourbon or scotch. Oh no, oh no, no. If whiskey stopped working, where the hell would I be? Probably wasting lots of money trying therapy. If whiskey stopped working, what the hell would I do? Honestly, to tell you the truth, I wouldn't be over you. If whiskey stopped working, if whiskey stopped working, if whiskey stopped working, if whiskey stopped working, oh, whiskey stopped working, if whiskey stopped. Poor Jack D would be out of a job. Jameson and Bean would be cut off. Hank Williams songs wouldn't make any sense. Yeah, this whole damn world would be a mess. Oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah. If whiskey stopped working, where the hell would I be? Probably wasting lots of money trying therapy. If whiskey stopped working, what the hell would I do? Honestly, to tell you the truth, I wouldn't be over you. If whiskey stopped working, if whiskey stopped working, if whiskey stopped working, if whiskey stopped working, oh, whiskey stopped working, if whiskey stopped, oh. If whiskey stopped working, where the hell would I be? Probably halfway out of this town, leaving Tennessee.